How's it goes?
We're recording. Hello, everyone. My name is Giancarlo Torres, and I am your friend. Welcome to Monday Testimonials. And it is my pleasure always to be with you and really just share with you with a guest on a testimonial with the most important product in the world, which is called Immunocal, which works like a glutathione therapy, something that we all have. Now, before we start this Zoom, I have to make a statement that the FDA requires me to say that what we will be talking about tonight are natural products per se. So we can't say directly that it treats, cures, or diagnoses any disease. But what we can talk about is about a molecule that we all have in our bodies. And because October is a breast cancer awareness month, I'm going to talk to my good friend, Jim Spencer. And Jim will give an introduction on who he is, but just to give you a little introduction, Jim is an authority figure in the glutathione space, and he's helped hundreds of people with glutathione therapy. And I asked him for him to share with us one of his best breast cancer testimonials with glutathione therapy. So, Jim, can you see me and hear me all right?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Fantastic. Jim, once again, thank you so much for accepting my invite. And Jim, for the audience, just tell the audience briefly how you were introduced to glutathione therapy and what, like when did you find out glutathione therapy when it comes to cancer, for example?
Well, I was initially introduced to Dr. Gustavo Bunos about 22 years ago. And Bunos was the scientific researcher who developed and uncovered or discovered a rare protein that allows humans to make more glutathione. And he had already, by the time I met him, he had already been probably 18 years into the research. And some of the early studies that he did with glutathione was with cancer, both with mice and then later with humans. In fact, some of the early studies he did was with breast cancer. So I basically spent a lot of time with him, and the mechanism really of glutathione is the use of the human immune system. So in essence, you're using your own immune system to help fight different kinds of health challenges. So glutathione has been the subject now of over 155,000 published studies, many of which have indicated its ability to help with cancer on multiple levels. Now, how does it work? Well, first of all, you cannot make T cells without the availability of glutathione. So your ability to make the helper cells, the killer cells, and the suppressor cells all hinge on glutathione. And specifically, its advantage for cancer therapy is that when you push the body to make a lot of glutathione, it has the opposite effect on cancer. It actually shuts down glutathione production in the cancer. So instead of making more glutathione, the cancer cells begin to downregulate. It's called negative feedback inhibition. And that's a good thing, because the good cells will make more glutathione and subsequently allow you to make more T cells in your immune system, while the negative feedback shuts it down in the cancer. So how does that translate? Well, the body now can mount a defense against abnormal cells, like tumor cells. And so the T cells can actually start to eat the cancer and tumor cells. And in fact, that's why Dr. Bunos was given a patent as a method of use treatment as a chemotherapeutic agent. And so if you were to research Immunocal, you'll find that that's one of the multiple clinical patents that were given to Immunocal. And it wasn't a formulation of ingredients. It was an actual pharmaceutical patent. Now, the Truth is that Bunos opted not to release it as a drug. He released it as a nutraceutical. And the reason he did that is because he found that the companies that wanted to license it as a pharmaceutical were marking the price up too much, as much as 20 times what they wanted to sell it for. So my hat is off to him and the founders of Immunotech, because they opted not to release it as a drug, but it already had been approved and patented as if it were a drug. So now, because it's natural, we don't make claims, but I have seen over the years numerous examples of people that used it therapeutically, and it had very, very good results for them. I've known people that were actually asked by their doctor to get prepared for a double mastectomy, and they opted to use glutathione therapy, and 8 weeks, 12 weeks went by, and the doctor couldn't find the breast cancer anymore. So it's been some dramatic results like that. We've also had people that were told that they would have to have chemo for years following some cancer surgery, and of course that produces some pretty toxic effects. Glutathione helps detoxify the byproducts of chemotherapy out of the liver, and so they were able to very easily tolerate these types of chemotherapeutic agents without the normal side effects that result. So those are some of the benefits. And I would say that over the past 22 years, there's just been hundreds of cases where people fighting cancer of all sorts have had benefits by simply augmenting their treatments with glutathione therapy.
Fantastic, Jim. Jim, one last question for the people that are watching this right now that's probably know someone with cancer, probably a loved one, whatever the case. They're probably a little skeptical, who knows. What would you tell them before we end this Zoom?
Well, they did a study based on 40 years of breast cancer treatment, and published in Time magazine in 2015. In fact, the front cover said, showed a person testing for breast cancer, and the title of the article was, "What if I decide to just do nothing?" And based on the evidence that they concluded from 40 years plus of typical treatment of mainstream medicine, they said you actually have better odds of surviving breast cancer if you just do nothing. And that didn't speak very well for the medical industry. So my suggestion is, no matter what they decide to do, if you include glutathione therapy, you're going to be far off better.
Fantastic, Jim. Thank you so much for sharing all this value. You know, how many people you've helped, which I know it's been thousands now, and I know this will help hundreds of, who knows, thousands of people. And for the ones that are watching this, whoever invited you, go back to them and tell them, okay, I need and want this glutathione therapy with this product from Canada called the Immunocast. So once again, I'm Jim. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And till next week, love you all.